Hello friends, I hope you had a fantastic Christmas. Hopefully Santa visited your place via the aircon ducts and got you some fun gifts. And for those stuck in their respective states, unable to visit their families due to the human malware or other geopolitical issues, I wish you all the best for 2021. But next on the calendar agenda, we have New Year's Eve, so party hard like there is no tomorrow. Because you never know. Let's not be too morbid. We have some interesting stories for you today. It's been quite a week, but tech doesn't stop for Jesus' birthday, though it does slow down a bit like a ute in a school zone. Welcome to the Dirt Report, tech and telco news from around Australia and some international tidbits. Make sure you like this video if you did and smash the subscribe button to support us. A short episode because we know you are all busy. Today we have the government makes an announcement that we all know isn't quite right. TPG Telecom still fighting the government quietly, and on the international tidbits we have Apple going all-wheel drive. So strap in and let's roll the intro. A date that will live in infamy. To some, and many don't care, I guess, but the 24th of December is going to be the day the NBN was finished on paper. Or is it? I say paper because there are hundreds of thousands of people who are yet to be connected. I know that you know that, but I guess Minister Paul Fletcher didn't get the memo? Well, he kinda did, and the numbers are a lot lower, and the date isn't quite right. This week, in a media release, the Minister of Communications, Urban Infrastructure, Cities and the Arts has made a formal declaration under the S48 of the National Broadband Network Companies Act 2011 that the National Broadband Network should be treated as built and fully operational. It's official, folks. Now let the disappointment wash away, alright? It's done. Now Paul Fletcher did make the decision under some facts that he used to back up his decision. The number of premises able to connect to the NBN is over 11.86 million premises. At NBN Co's FY20 results announcement in August 2020, there were around 100,000 complex premises yet to be made ready to connect. That number has now reduced substantially and is expected to be around 35,000 as of 31st December 2020. So we've only got 35,000 to go. New premises are being built all the time. This means that there will always be a number of premises around Australia that are not yet ready to connect. The fact that there is a certain number of premises which are not ready to connect is not itself evidence that the network cannot be treated as built and fully operational. Now, if the numbers are correct, 35,000 premises are such a small percentage of the wider number of premises, it is and will be seen as technically being completed. Now, as a side note, this was official on the 11th of December 2020, but with no media announcements until the 24th of this month, so no one really talked about it, and so it all seemed rather odd. In any case, here is what Paul Fletcher had to say. In my view, the evidence before me shows it is appropriate to make the declaration that the NBN should be treated as built and fully operational. Of course, the government recognizes there are some premises which have not yet been made ready to connect, and I expect NBN Co to work as speedily as possible to make the network available to those premises. The government also recognizes there is continuing work to enhance the capabilities of the network. Earlier this year, we announced a $4.5 billion upgrade to the NBN. The work to deliver that upgrade will be carried out over several years. There are also a lot of questions around the current upgrade scheme. After all, it's not part of the build phase, it's an upgrade after the fact. I do find it funny that the upgrade was announced before Fletcher even made the announcement that the NBN was complete. Now, before the job was complete, they knew they were going to be knocking down some walls and rebuilding. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But Fletcher continued. This doesn't mean that NBN Co will stop developing. I fully expect the company will operate as a mature entity through continual improvement in the provision of quality services to its broadband retail customers and ultimately to Australian households and businesses, as well as driving efficiency in its operations. As with all large telecommunications networks, NBN Co will need to keep investing in additional network capacity, extend its network to connect new developments, and remediate technical issues as they arrive. The problem here is that the NBN's level of quality is not something to be proud of, with some premises having a brilliant experience, sure, and be proud of that, but some who should rip up the copper and take it back for a full refund. Personally, I don't see the NBN complete until the original plan comes to fruition, which is fibre to every home, fibre to the 12 million premises. And while I understand that many locations just cannot be serviced by fibre alone and wireless has to be involved, fibre can run much longer distances and should have the ability to service a larger portion of these premises that copper was unable to reach. But I digress. We are at a point where the government is throwing more money than the original estimate for a full fiber country, and we don't have more to show for it. And yet this was also the last hurdle for the NBN to be privatized. And something is starting to smell fishy. Could this spell the sale of the NBN? Will Rupert Murdoch buy NBN? Unlikely, but if you want something to go from bad to worse, then having NBN Co privatized will be it. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you see the NBN as finished? Is this the first step to its own demise, as in the sale? This is a good segue into our next topic, and it's TPG and their cold war against NBN Co's only wholesale status. TPG was having the time of their life rolling out fiber into metro apartments called TPG Fiber to the Basement. It was rolled out even faster than NBN Co's connections at the same locations. But a regulatory change put a stop to the fiber to the building rollout, and so TPG asked in October for the regulations to be overturned as part of a scheduled review of the rules. Now the ACCC is now looking over this request, but it believes that this is unlikely for a large-scale TPG versus NBN Co fiber rollout to be possible, but hasn't discounted the potentiality of small-scale projects being allowed. A small bone for TPG, sure. So in the Superfast Broadband Access Service and Local Bitstream Access Service Declaration Inquiry from this month, ACCC outlined their draft decision to declare a wholesale Layer 2 fixed-line broadband service supplied over NBN networks. Now, only broadband access services that are provided over a superfast network are proposed for declaration. However, there's no minimum or maximum speeds nominated in the declaration, which would limit the range of access products that an access seeker could request from the access provider. You see, the ACCC considers that economic and technical barriers to entry generally prevent multiple fixed-line network providers from operating in the same service area and competing at a wholesale level. The ACCC says that there is usually insufficient customer demand to sustain two rival fixed-line networks, and where competition from mobile and fixed wireless networks is not effective. This results in localized monopolies with the ability to extract monopoly rents from end users. However, the ACCC is required to promote competition in the downstream retail market for superfast broadband services, and will promote the efficient use of and invest in infrastructure as in the absence of declaration. Now, network operators have incentives to set prices to maximize their revenues at the expense of meeting end user demand. As the story progresses, I will keep you informed. At this stage, it is unlikely there will be a competing NBN Co giant entity, while small-scale private fiber is technically still allowed. Now, the ACCC recognizes that in some areas it may be commercially viable for multiple superfast broadband networks to exist. The ACCC will consider the merit or otherwise of a framework to exclude networks covered by the SBAS-LBAS declaration from future regulations under the declaration. Now, I've linked that below for you to read in more detail. The ACCC is seeking submissions from interested parties by 19th February 2021. Okay, time for some international tidbits. Make sure to like this video if you did and subscribe to support us. So Apple is believed to be working on an electric vehicle project that it plans to launch a few years down the track. The top secret project is said to be in works at a hidden lab called SG5, which stands for, of course, Stargate SG5, or so I could imagine. Now, internally, the effort is believed to be known as Project Titan and may one day yield an Apple car. Now, this one day is bearing a lot closer than many think. One German report indicated that Apple had a secret lab in Berlin staffed by about 15 to 20 top-class people from German auto industry working on issues like Apple car concepts. Now, manufacturing partnerships and sales government obstacles, and possible manufacturing in the Austrian division of Magna Steyr. So this week, Taiwanese vehicle components manufacturers have been sent Apple's parts requirements for an upcoming product of theirs that will apparently be released in September 2021, which is very, very soon. And on a scale of Tesla's manufacturing plan and demand for Teslas, it just doesn't seem like enough time to manufacture cars. Now, September might only be a gender reveal party for Apple, or it could be something much, much more. We'll have to wait and see. To add to the rumor mill, the car tech is so far ahead of the competition and even Apple's expectation that the original slated date of release was 2023 and has been brought forward apparently to 2021, unlike Cyberpunk. Now, I can imagine Apple started building their car, put four wheels, a couple of doors, and thought, wow, this is easy. We should release this earlier. So let's continue with the rumor mill in that regard. In an Apple style, the car will be self-driving with full Apple connectivity, and one rumor said it won't even be a drivable car, as Apple likes to take things away, like headphone jacks, chargers, and buttons. It will take away the actual need to pilot the vehicle with your hands and feet, and however else they might imagine it. It will completely be driverless, and it'll be a get in and sit and get driven type of experience. Originally, Apple was designing a fingerprint car start module, though that was an early rumor that originally started the whole Apple Car fiasco. Apple said, hang on, if we're going to build a fingerprint key start module for another brand of car, why don't we just build the car ourselves? Because you know what Apple's like. That was back in 2016. And finally, it will be the first Apple product to come with Windows pre-installed. So there you have it. We are on the road to one day being driven by a car made by Apple. And more tech companies are building cars while car manufacturers are trying to become tech companies and build electric cars. What a world we live in. And on that pickled jar of tech jokes, we have to end this episode. Friends, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to like this video. And if you'd like to support this channel, then tap that subscribe button and be in the know when every video drops. And huge thanks to all of you for watching, subscribing, and supporting this channel. And also thank you for all your great comments this year. Some made me laugh, some made me nod, and some made me go, what? So wishing you all the best for 2021, and let's not repeat the mistakes of 2020. Hope to catch you all later in another one. Wish you a happy new year too. Bye!